Hello class, welcome to the next lecture on control systems. So in the last lecture, last couple of lectures we were talking about block diagrams, right? How to reduce them and find the overall transfer function from a block diagram. So in this lecture and maybe next one, we'll be discussing about signal flow graphs. Okay. So basically, what are signal flow graphs? Signal flow graphs are a graphical representation of a set of linear algebraic equations between input and output. So why does a pictorial or graphical representation of a set of linear algebraic equations is of importance for us? Because most of our systems are linear systems, right? And those systems we can represent using linear equations, whether they are in the differential equation form or not. We can represent most of our systems in a form of linear equation because they are in a sense linear time invariant systems that we are using. Therefore, such a graphical representation helps us to represent an LTI system. Okay. So moving on. Okay, let's start off how to draw this graphical representation with an example. A few examples in fact. Okay, suppose we have an equation y2 equal to 10 y1. What we do is we take these two variables y2 and y1 as nodes. Okay, here we have shown y2 and y1 and they are shown as nodes, right? And what are we giving? What are we saying? We are saying y2 is equal to y1 into 10. See the arrow. So the direction of the arrow is from the input to the output. It is opposite to the direction of the equation, or you can say the RHS of the equation are usually inputs and the LHS of the equations are usually outputs. So the arrow should flow from the input to the output. Since here we are saying y2 is equal to 10 y1, that is we are defining y2 in terms of y1. Okay. Therefore, the arrow should flow from y1 to y2, that is input to output. And how many times is y2 of y1? That is 10 times. Now let's see another one. y4 is equal to 2 y1 plus 5 y2 plus 7 y3. That is we are just extending this concept. Okay. So y4 is our output. It is coming here. It is a sum of three different variables multiplied by constants. y1, which is multiplied by 2, that is added to y2 multiplied by 5. Again it is added to y3 multiplied by 7. So this point where different lines or arrows or branches are meeting, this is equivalent to a summing point in a block diagram. Okay. Now let's say another one. y2 equal to 10 y1, y3 equal to 20 y2, and y4 equal to 30 y1. So here earlier the output was just one node and there were multiple inputs. Now what we are seeing is we are having only one input but multiple outputs. So it is branching out. Earlier it was branching in. So y2, the first output equal to 10 times y1. y3, the second output was 20 times y1, and y4, the third output, is 30 times y1. Okay. So that is how you draw a signal flow graph from a linear algebraic equation. Now just comment, that is the nodes of the signal flow graph are variables that are voltages and currents, and path gains are impedances or admittances of the system component. That we'll see when this is just a comment I just written here. Just remember this. We'll see how this is translating once we are drawing the equivalent signal flow graph of electrical networks. Okay. Now let's move on to the next topic, which is we'll construct the signal flow graph for the given set of linear algebraic equations. Okay, so here we have y2, y1, y3, y4, y5 and y6, right? So that is, we need 6 nodes, right? y1 to y6. So as a sort of beginning, let's put them one by one. Okay, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5 and y6. y1, y2, y3, y4, y5 and y6. Okay, now what is y2? y2 is y1, that is 1 into y1. So I am drawing an arrow here, right? 1 into y1 plus 2 into y3. This 2 into y3. So you can see that it is a sort of a feedback, right? So the general idea behind general notation that we follow is that the forward gains, the main path we draw in straight lines, and branches or feedbacks we draw as curved lines. Okay, so this is y2 equal to y1 plus 2 y3. Now what is y3? y3 is equal to 3y2. So we have y2 here, 3y2 plus 4y4. So this feedback is coming. Okay, 4y4. Now what is y4? y4 equal to 5y3. So 5y3 plus 6y4. What are you having? 6y4. For y4 we are taking the same thing, that is we are getting a self loop, what is called as a self loop. 6y4 plus 7y5. So you can draw like this or you can draw like this. Here for the ease of convenience I am drawing like this. Okay. Then what is y5? It is 8y4 plus 9y2. That is, from here we have to take and give here 9y2. And what is y6? It is y5, 1. So this is how you actually construct a signal flow graph from a set of linear algebraic equations. Okay. First you identify the variables and you put them as the nodes. Then you just draw the branches depending on the relationship between these particular nodes. You don't have to draw summing points as such. You can just give it into the nodes. It will be assumed that it is getting added. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Before that, some nomenclature. Forward path is the path from input to output. Okay. Loop. What is a loop? It is a path terminating on the same node from which it is originating. Here we can say that this is a loop because it is either you can assume that it is starting from here, it is going here and coming back here, or you can assume that it is starting from here, going here and coming back here. Either way, it should be a closed one. Okay. Then there is a concept of non-touching loops. Okay, non-touching loops are loops. It can be 2 loops or 3 loops. Non-touching loops which are represented as 2L, 3L. That is, 2L means we are taking a pair of 2 non-touching loops. 3L means we are taking 3 non-touching loops. So non-touching, it is sort of self expressing. So this is one loop. This loop and this loop don't have any doesn't have any nodes in common. So this one represent between y2 and y3, and this one between y4 and y4 are non-touching loops. Similarly, the one between y2 and y3 and y4 and y5 are non-touching loops, right? So what about y2 and y3 and y3 and y4? They are not non-touching because they have a common node y3. So that is the concept of non-touching loops. So it can be 2 non-touching loops, it can be 3 non-touching loops, it can be 4, 5, depending on the complexity and size of the particular signal flow graph. Okay. Then there is an input node, a node that has only outgoing branches. Consider here, this is an input node because it is only giving an output, nothing is coming into it. Here if you see, take y2, it has incoming nodes, right? It has outgoing nodes. So if such a node exists where there is only outgoing branches, then it is a input node. So what about output node? It is the opposite, that has only incoming branches. Okay, so usually in signal flow graphs we encounter situations where we don't have any explicit input node or output node. Then we'll just extend, we'll draw something and take it out. Okay, you'll see that when we are doing some problems. Okay, so now the question is, find the number of forward paths, individual loops. So forward paths, individual loops, two non-touching loops for the above signal flow graph, which is this one, right? The one we just explained. So which are the forward paths? We have y1, y2, y3, y4 and y5, right? y1, y2, y3, y4 and y5 and y6. Okay, y5, y6. Is that it? Are there any other forward paths? Yes, there is. This is one path. This is another path. Okay, so y1, y2, y5 and y6. So these are the two forward paths. Okay, then loops. First let's see the single loops. Okay, what are the single loops here? We have y2, y3, this one. Then we have this one, which is y3, y4. We have this one, which is y4. And we have this one, y4, y5. Is it over? Are there any other loops? Loop means it is starting at, you can find a closed path between any node, right? Actually, if you look at it, I'll use another color. Okay, if you look at it, this is a closed path, right? That is, I am writing it down. y2, y5, y4, y3 is a closed path. Therefore, that is also a loop. You can see y2, y5, y4 and y3. So these are the four different loops that is available in this particular thing. Now the next thing we have to do is two non-touching loops. That is, two loops which are non-touching. So this is one. These two are non-touching. That is y2, y3 and y4. Okay, what is the other set of non-touching loops? This one and this one, right? That is y3, y2, y3 and y4, y5, right? These are the two sets of non-touching loops. Are there any three non-touching loops? No. In this particular example, there are no three non-touching loops. Okay. Okay. Now let's see another question. This one. The question is, find number of forward paths. Let's find the forward paths, individual loops, two non-touching and three non-touching loops. Okay. So what are the forward paths? Let's draw this here. So we have, this is a forward path, right? Then what is the other one? Are there any other paths? Yes. This straight one is a forward path. What are the others? This is a forward path, right? So basically we have three forward paths. The thing is that here we are not using the, let me just erase this. I want you to see the image clearly. Okay, here we are not using the node names of the nodes to represent the path or loop. Here what we are using is the gains. Okay, the path gain we are using. Suppose we are taking this path. Okay, if you are taking this path, what is the path gain? It is a b e. Okay, so a b e is the first path. Okay, let me erase that. And what is the second path? The second path is coming like this, going like this. And what is it? A 1 into A into C into E into 1. That is ACE. Similarly, what is the third path? It is coming like this, going like this. 1 into F into 1. That is only F. That is the third path. This is the same thing we are doing for loops also. Okay, which are the single loops? We have this self loop here, which is H. We have this particular loop, which is BD. We have this loop, which is CD. We have this self loop, which is I. Then we have this big loop, which is FG. Then again we have this loop, which is A, B, E, G, A, B, E, G. Then we have this loop, right? That is A, C, E, G, A, C, E, G. That many loops we have. Okay. So out of these loops, which all are non-touching? Let's start with this one. The way we will do 2 non-touching and 3 non-touching loops is we'll first take one loop and see, okay, which all other loops are non-touching. So here you can say that this one BD and CD are non-touching right away, right? So HBD and HCD are non-touching loops. Also I is also not touching, so HI is a non-touching loop. Okay, but this one FG or AB, EG, anything that includes G is not a non-touching loop for H. Okay, now let's see, we will take this one. Suppose we will take BD. So which are the non-touching loops? H is a non-touching loop, but we have already included that. So you can write, so you don't have to write it. Okay. What about this one? Is it a non-touching loop to BD? Yes, because it doesn't have any common nodes. So BD FG is a 2 non-touching loop. Then the other one, obvious, right, which is CD BDI. We are considering BD, right? BDI. Okay. And what about the next loop, which is CD? So actually whatever we have taken for BD we can use for CD also, because there are 2 loops between the same 2 nodes. So we have BDFG, we can find CDFG. We have BDI, we can find CDI. Okay. Now since this is the last loop, I is the last loop, we have already included all the other possibilities. No, you don't have to check. If you want, you can check just to make sure. Okay. Now which are the 3 non-touching loops? We can find 2. Okay. Actually, let's start with the two non-touching, H and BD. So is there any other loop existing which is non-touching to both H and BD? That is the question, right? Both H and BD. Yes, there is one, I. So HBDI is a 3 non-touching loop. Similarly, since CD and BD are drawn across the same 2 nodes, similar logic as we used before, HCDI is another 3 non-touching loop, right? We can't use we can't find any 3 non-touching loops for FG. So this is how you find forward path, single loops, forward path, single loops, 2 non-touching loops and 3 non-touching loops. So I have included an example here to find the forward path, 1 non-touching, 2 non-touching. Okay. Now we come to the major topic in signal flow graph. It is called as Mason's gain formula. It allows the user to find the overall transfer function of the system. It makes the analysis of control system to find the overall transfer function very simple, because you can just use this formula. Okay, overall transfer function equal to summation k equal to 1 to I pk delta k by delta. Okay, it looks complicated, but it's pretty much simple. Okay, so first what you have to do, you have to find something called as a delta, which is 1 minus summation of single loops, means the summation of the gains of the single loops, then plus 2 summation gains of the 2 non-touching loops, minus summation 3 non-touching loops. And remember, the signs are alternating, plus and minus is alternating. And pk is the forward path, right? We have different forward paths, right? And pk is the gain of the kth forward path. If there is only one forward path, there will be only one, k will only be 1, so there will be only one p. If there are 2 forward paths, there will be 2 p's, p1 and p2. And delta k is the value of delta obtained by removing all the loops which are touching that particular forward path. If there is only one forward path, then the value of delta k will be 1, because the loops have to touch some path, right? So therefore it will be 1. We'll see. Okay, we'll see with an example. This is our signal flow graph. Okay, we have your input here, we have our output here, we have different nodes. We are not marking the nodes, we are just giving the gains G1, G2, G3, G4. We have another alternate forward path G5, then 1, 2 and 3 loops are there. Okay, so first we identify the forward paths G5 and G1, G2, G3, G4. We have 2 forward paths. Now we identify our single loops, minus H1, minus H2, G3 and minus G4, H3. Okay, there are no other closed paths if you look at it. Now we want to find the 2 non-touching loops. So we can take this and this. Also we can take H and this one. So that only 2 set of two non-touching loops. That is H1 minus H1 into minus G3 H2. That will be H1 G3 H2 and minus H1 into minus G4 H3. That is H1 G4 H3. Are there any 3 non-touching loops? No, because these 2 are touching, and there are only total of 3 loops. So there are no 3 non-touching loops. Okay, now let's find delta. Now what was delta? Delta was 1 minus summation of 1 non-touching loops plus summation of 2 non-touching loops minus summation of 3 non-touching loops, etc. plus etc. Okay, even numbers gets plus and odd numbers get a minus. So what are the 1 non-touching loops? Minus H1, minus G3 H2, minus G4 H3. So that is 1 minus H1, minus G2 H2, minus G4 H3. Remember, it is a minus here. Okay, plus summation of 2 non-touching loops. That is plus H1 G3 H2, H1 G4 H3. That is delta. You can expand it, okay, to whatever. Now let's find the transfer function. So transfer function is the numerator of the transfer function is summation k equal to 1 to I, I being the total number of forward paths, pk delta k. So what is our first p1? We are considering this one, right? So our path is, excuse me, so path is this. Okay, so what is p1 k1, sorry, p1 delta 1? P1 delta 1. P1 delta 1 is the forward gain, which is G5 into delta by delta after removing all the loops which are touching this. Okay, so which are the loops which are touching this? G4H3. So we have to remove all the G4H3s from here. So this we remove and this we remove. So delta 1 is 1 plus H1 plus H2G3 plus H1 H2G3. Right. That is delta 1 if you are taking G5 as the P1. If you are taking G1, G2, G3, G4, this one as the set P2, then what is delta 2? What will be delta 2? It will be delta after removing all the terms containing this one H3G4. Okay, after removing H3G4, H2G3 and H1. Why? Because the path, the new path we are considering is this one. So we have to consider remove all the loops from here because all of them will be touching this path. So that is essentially we have to remove everything. That is why G1, G2, G3, G4 into 1 divided by delta. Okay, that is how you get the transfer function for a signal flow graph. We will see another example just to make it clear. Okay, this time I am not writing all the steps. Okay, so we have this one, the forward path. We have only one forward path, that is G1, G2, G3. Okay, only one forward path, P1, let's say it G1, G2, G3 and G4. And what is delta? It is 1 plus this loop plus this loop plus this loop. It is 1 minus, okay, minus of this one. So minus means minus minus of minus will be plus only. So 1 plus G1 G2 H1 plus G3 G4 H3 plus G2 G3 H2. Okay, and what will come in the numerator? We have only one forward path, so there will be G1 G2 G3 G4 into delta without the terms having the loops touching the forward path. All the loops are touching the forward path, so it is into 1. So this is quite simple, but in the exams I suggest you write the Mason's gain formula first, then apply the you write down, okay, the forward paths are like we did here. This is the way you should approach the exam. You should write down the different forward paths, should write down the different touching and non-touching loops. Delta you have to write down separately, and also the delta 1 and delta 2 also you have to write down. Okay, and then only you will get that marks for the steps. Okay, now let's see another example. Okay, here you have two forward paths. Okay, but anyway delta is the same, so you first away you can write the delta. So what will delta be? We have one loop here, two loop, three loops and 4. We have 4 loops actually. So G1 G2 H1, G2 G3 H2, G4 H3 and this one G5 H3 H2, G5 H3 H2, but the sign will be different because here only one minus is there. When multiplied with a minus in the formula it becomes positive, but here there is no minus. Minus H1 into minus H2 into minus H3 is positive, so this symbol is minus, remember that. Okay, now we have to find the non-touching loops. So which are the non-touching loops here? only two non-touching loops are here, that is G1, G2, H1 and G4, H3. That is the two non-touching. We have the delta here. Okay. Now let me just erase this and see the different paths we can take. So if we are taking this this forward path, that is it. In the numerator will be G1, G2, G3, G4 into 1, because all loops are touching. And what about this? Let me erase this. What about this path? What if you are taking this path? Then also it is into 1, G1, G5 into 1, because all loops are touching this path somewhere or the other. So therefore, this is how you get the result, the overall transfer function. Okay. Now there's a homework here. There's a couple of homeworks. Okay. Now moving on to the next topic: how to convert a block diagram into a signal flow graph and find its transfer function. In fact, if you look at it, this is quite easy, right? You can directly almost translate the block diagram into signal flow graphs, right? So this blocks will be branches. Okay, blocks will be branches, and okay, what is the main path? Main forward path. We have a gain G1, we have gain G1, we have gain G2, gain G2, have gain G4, and we have a parallel path G3. We have a parallel path of 1. We have a feedback here. Here we are giving the sign in the summation, but that is not possible here, right? There is no summing point, takeoff point, difference is not there. So here you have to give attach the sign to the gain of the feedback itself. Okay. Similarly, there is one huge feedback here, minus H1. That is it. It's as simple as that. And give a dummy input and dummy output node. Okay. So that you don't confuse this, and it is easy for the reader. And after that, it is pretty much what we have done here. We have how many? 3 forward paths. 1, 2 and 3, right? And loops, how many loops we have? Right, how many loops do we have? We have 1, we have 2. Are there any other loops? No, this is not a loop, right? There are no other loops, at least no other loops that I can identify. Are there? Yes, there are other loops, right? Because this path we can alternatively give as this one. So this is another loop, this is another loop, right? Basically with this one feedback and this one forward path, you can make 3 loops. Okay. So our delta will be 1 plus the individual loops. Okay, sorry, minus the individual loops, that is minus G2, H2. Okay. Then this one, G1, G2, G3, H1, G1, G2, G4, H1, and G1, G2, 1, H1. And there are no loops which are not touching the forward paths. Okay, and there are two non-touching loops. So delta is this much, and if you take this forward path, it is touching every loop. So the numerator will be G1, G2, G4. If you are taking this path, the numerator will be G1, G2, G3. Right. If you are taking this path, numerator will be G1, G2. That is it. It is as simple as that. It is very simple. Consider to the block diagram reduction. It is that simple. Okay, let's see another example of how you can convert block diagram into signal flow graph. Okay, here we have the block diagram, right? How do you convert? We have from the input we have one G1 followed by a G2, which is here, followed by the G3. Okay, we have a feedback here that we are giving here, minus H2. We have a parallel path here, G4, that we are giving here, and we have a feedback path, minus H1, that we are giving here. Okay. Now, identifying the loops. This is one loop. This is another loop, and this is another loop. So basically we have how many? 3 loops are there. That is being written H2 G2, G4 H1, the huge one, and G1 G2 G3 H1. Okay. Now which are the non-touching loops? Are there any 2 non-touching loops? Yes, this one and this one. We have done something similar, right? So we have G2 H2 into G4 H1, right? G2 H2 into G4 H1. That is our non-touching loops. Are there any 3 non-touching loops? No. Only 2 non-touching loops are there. Okay. Now coming to the numerator part. Okay, remember for exams, please write P1, P2, P3, whatever, delta, delta 1, delta 2, delta 3, whatever, 1L, 1 single loops, 2 non-touching loops, 3 non-touching, whatever is there, you have to write it down, and then you have to write the Mason's gain formula, then only you apply the formula. Okay, this is, I am just giving you lecture notes. Okay, this is not how you solve it in the exam, please remember. Okay, first we take the first forward path, this one, G1, G2, G3. Are there any loops which are not touching this? No, so do 1. Now the other forward path, this one. Is there any loop which is not touching this one? Yes, G2, H2. So you remove the H1 terms, right? This feedback you have to remove from the delta, and the remaining you can keep. So from this you remove H2. So sorry, H1. So this term goes, this term goes, this term goes. You have 1 plus G2H2. That is G4 into 1 plus G2H2. That is how you find the transfer function. Okay. Now this is another question for finding the transfer function by converting the block diagram into signal flow graphs. Right. So you can see actually pretty much almost any complex block diagrams, you can convert it into signal flow graph and find the solutions. Okay. Now let's say multi input, multi output systems. This is only multi output, only one input is there. Okay. So we have one output here, C1, C2, C3 and C4. Delta is the same because it is dependent only on the touching and loops, right? Whether it is touching or non touching, only it is only concerned about loops. So which are the loops? We have 2 by S, we have 3 by S, and also this is there, which is 24 by S, 24 by S, 3 by S, and there is a set of 2 non-touching loops, that is 2 by S and 3 by S, that is 6 by S squared. There are no 3 non-touching loops, so that is delta. Okay, that is delta. Coming to the first one, we have to find C1 by R1. So C1 by R1, what is the path? This is the path. So delta is there, let delta be there. Okay. So the gain of the path is 1 into delta without the with the loops which are not touching this path. So we have to remove this one because it is touching, that is 2 by S. So whichever was considered by taking 2 by S, we have to remove. This will go and this will go because this is a 2 non-touching loop term which consisted of this one. Therefore only 1 into 1 plus 3 by S, which is for this, and by 24 by S, which is for this. And you can simplify, take all the S's upwards and write down what is delta, and you can solve it. Okay. Now C2 by R. What is the path? This is the path. What is the path gain? Again, delta is there. What is the path gain? 1 by S. Okay. This loop is touching, so anything that comes from 2 by S has to go, right? And this loop is also touching, so anything that comes from this 24 by S has to go. So anyway, these two have gone, but this is not touching, so it can stay. 3 by S can stay. So that is why 1 by S into 1 plus 3 by S by delta, and you can solve for that. Similarly, you can try for C3 and C4. It's very simple and straightforward. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. A signal flow graph is given, right? Signal flow graph is given, and you have to find y6 by y1. So what is y6? Y6 is not the output node, it is an in-between node. y7 by y1. y7 is the output node. y5 by y1. y5 is an in-between node, right? y2 by y1. Where is y2? This. If you look at all this, the denominator is the input. That is the important thing when it comes to signal flow graph. The ratio should be any node to the input node, that you can find, but you can't directly use Mason's gain formula to find something like this. y7 by y2, you cannot use the Mason's gain formula. Okay, so let's see how you proceed with this. First of all, let's find delta. Okay, this is a huge one. So delta 1 minus h1 g1, okay, minus g3 h2 minus h4, then minus g1 g2 g3 h3. Okay, now we are looking for the single loops are over. Now we are looking for the non-touching loops. G1 h1 and G3 h2, they are non-touching. Similarly, G1 h1 and minus h4, they are non-touching. Then G3 h2 and h4, they are non-touching. G1 g2 g3 h3 and h4, they are non-touching. Are there any other two non-touching loops? No. Are there any three non-touching loops? Are there any three non-touching loops? Yes, there is. G1 h1, G3 h2 and h4. This is a three non-touching loop. Okay, so for the exam, write all this now. That is delta. There are no other three non-touching loops. That is delta. Okay, so let's first find y6 by y1. This is the path you have to consider. So how many forward paths are there? 2, the straight one and this one, right? So let's take G1, G2, G3, G4 into, what is the delta k? It will be 1 because it is touching, this path is touching all the loops, so delta k is 1. What if we take G1, G5? Then it avoids this H3, G2. So all other terms other than H2, H3, G2 has to go. So this will go, this will go, this will go, this will go. Okay, all these will go because all these are touching this path also. So G1, G5, that is a path gain, forward path gain into delta k, that is 1 plus G3 H2. That is y6 by y1. So how do you find y7 by y1? How do you find y7 by y1? y7 is coming here, right? So from y6 to y7 there isn't much of a difference. There is only one branch of gain 1, so it is the same. Y7 by y1 and y6 by y1 are the same. Now let's see something in between, which is y5 by y1. So how many forward paths are there? Only one is there. And so that is G1, G2, G3. G1, G2, G3 we have. And what is the loop which is not touching this path? Only this one. So everything else will go 1 plus H4 by delta. Right. So similarly, you can find the others, y2 by y1, y3 by, you have to do it as homework. And how do you find, I have mentioned earlier that you cannot directly use Mason's gain formula if the denominator is of the ratio is not the input node. So y7 by y2, you will have to find y7 by y1 and y2 by y1. Divide it, you will get y7 by y2. Similarly for the other ratios. Okay. Okay, now consider this question. You have a loop signal flow graph here. You have to find the transfer function. Okay. We have from R to C, gain, loop, loop. The thing is, the catch here is that we have to identify the input and output nodes first, right? Here, R is not an input node, right? It is given, it is marked as R, but R is not an input node because it has for in node to be input node, it should only have what? It should only have outgoing branches. But this one has a self loop, that is something is coming back in, so it is not a input node. Since it is marked, it should be something else, which is a output node. Similarly, C is also clearly it is not an input node, but it is an output node. So we are taking it like this. For the input, we are marking a separate dummy node we are taking here. Now it is very simple. C by R, the gain is G by 1 plus H plus H2 plus H1, H2. And for R, it is 1 into 1 plus H2 divided by 1 plus H1 plus H2 plus H1, H2. It's, once you identify this node issue here, then it's pretty straightforward. Nothing else is there. Okay. So this is a homework. This is a multi-input, multi-output system. You have R1, R2, C1 and C2, inputs and outputs. So you have to find all the 4 possible ratios, transfer functions. The thing is that be mindful when you are considering any ratio, whether it is C1 by R1 or C1 by R2 or whatever, or even C2 by R1, be mindful of how the signal is flowing, right? For example, from R1 to C1, signal is flowing like this. Okay, so be mindful of how the signal is flowing before you attempt to find, before you apply the Mason's gain formula. Okay. And another question. So this is slightly different in the sense you have to find the sensitivity. Okay, you have to first find the overall transfer function. You apply the different values of k, and you find the sensitivity of the transfer function with respect to k2. Okay, again draw the signal flow graph and find the transfer function using Mason's gain formula. Similarly, find the transfer function. These are stuff we have seen. Okay, now coming to the next topic, construction of signal flow graph for electrical networks. How do we know that? So earlier, remember how we defined a signal flow graph. We defined signal flow graph as graphical representation of linear algebraic equations. So what we do is we write down the algebraic equations for this particular network, and then we draw the signal flow graph for that particular set of linear algebraic equations. That is the key. Okay, writing down the equation, finding the proper variables, that is the main thing. Okay, we have a network here, R, C, L and R1, C, L and R2. V out and V in are defined. We need to find V out by V in. Okay, now let's first we'll apply the different or we'll just try to give some variable names I1, I2, I3, I4 and something V1 here. Okay, so ultimately we need to find V0 and V0 by Vi. Okay, so what is I1 of S, the current here? What is I1 of S? It is Vi minus V1 by R1. R1 is the resistance here. Okay, that is our first equation. Okay, then what is V1? V1 is I2 into 1 by SC. The 1 by SC is the impedance here or reactance here. Okay, so this I2 you can write as I1 minus I3. Okay, I1 minus I3. And what is I3? I3 is equal to V1 minus V0 or V out by LS, the reactance here. That is we are defining here. And V out is equal to I3 into R2. We are not using I4 because I3 and I4 are the same thing. I3 into R2. So now what have we done? We have reduced our equations into 1, 2, 3 and 4 variables, right? 4 and 5 variables. Okay, that is Vi, V1, Vo, I1 and I3. So now what we do, these variables will be the nodes, that is Vi, I1, V1, I3 and V0. The input should be Vi, output should be V0 because that is the ratio that we want to find. Then it is pretty much the earlier things that we have done. Okay, which is what is I1? I1 is equal to Vi into 1 by R, right? This part Vi into 1 by R minus V1 into 1 by R. V1 is coming here, minus into 1 by R. What is V1? V1 is 1 by SC into I1, 1 by SC into I1 minus 1 by SC into I3, minus 1 by SC into I3. What is I3? I3 is V1 into 1 by LS minus V0 into 1 by LS. And finally, what is V out? V out is I3 into R2 or RL, whichever. Okay, this is how you construct a signal flow graph for a electrical network. So the idea is first we identify the proper variables required and express the algebraic equations governing the equation. Then you convert it into the signal flow graph. That is the proper method. Okay, there is a homework. So I have given a hint like these are the variables that you need. Okay, and the thing is that the transfer function of the electrical network that you can find by directly finding V0 by Vs, that will be equal to the transfer function that we get if we are using the block diagram approach or a signal flow graph approach. So that is regarding signal flow graphs. So please do the homeworks that are given, and if you can do that, I think you can cover most of the type of problems that will come from this topic. Okay. Now the only topic remaining in first module is regarding the transfer function of or mathematical equivalent model of mechanical systems. that we'll cover in the next lecture. Thank you.